Hi, everybody. I'm Jane Liebecker. I'm coming to you from Seattle, Washington. And then we have.
My name is Minetta Fields, and I'm so happy to join you from Laurel, Maryland.
We have a very special guest with us today, Eddie Villa, who is our mentor. Eddie, where are you today?
I am in Vineyard, Utah. It's near Provo and Orem.
Yeah, nice.
So, Eddie, we are so happy to have you here. For those who may not know, as Jane mentioned, Eddie is our mentor. So, we actually graduated from Eddie's certification program. So, we're coaches and we get to use the awesome Gallup Strengths Assessment. We found that to be a very valuable tool in our coaching businesses. And so, Eddie, we're going to start with asking you, can you share your dominant domain with the group?
Yes, I have 5 influencing strengths in my top 10 and 3 strategic thinking strengths.
Nice.
So I am the moving people forward and thinking, creating, and learning person.
Amazing. Well, we're going to talk today about your self-assurance strength. Where is that in your top 10, Eddie?
Right, smack in the middle is number 5.
Number 5, the anchor strength.
It is my bread and butter. It is the core. It is where my heart beats. It is where I start.
So for those who may not know what self-assurance is, I'm just going to read Gallup's short description of what that strength is. People strong in the self-assurance theme feel confident in their ability to manage their own lives. They possess an inner compass that gives them confidence that their decisions are right.
No matter how bad things are going, or no matter how many mistakes they make, I can fix this. I can make this better. I can do this. Totally.
That's what he loves about self-assurance, I bet.
Oh yeah. It's like, what? I'm terrible at this. So I'm going to be amazing. I don't care. and even if I take that to my grave, I'll still be thinking that and feeling that. It's an energy source for me.
Oh, I love that. An energy source. What's your number 1 strength, Eddie? Strategic. Ooh, which we're going to be talking to you about a little bit later.
Yes.
So Eddie,
I'll save that one. Go ahead.
Can you give us an example of how you use self-assurance?
So it's 2 parts. For me, everything always begins with, what do I want to do, or what am I doing? Right. I have to point out that context is very low for me and futuristic is very high. Those 2 are very strong influencers on how I use my self-assurance strength. I think it's important for everybody to understand that we're not a strength, we're a combination of strengths and they all influence each other. But for me, definitely self-assurance is influenced by, do I want to be self-assured based on what I've already done? Or do I want to be self-assured based on what I feel called to do? And so for me, self-assurance is always, what do I get to do today? What do I want to do? How do I want to see it? How do I want to see it go that way? And no matter what, I'll figure it out. I'm enough. And so you can probably hear activator is also in there. So futuristic, activator, low context, they're all kind of like influencers of self-assurance. And so how it works for me is like, hey, I don't care if I'm great at this or I'm bad at this. No matter what, I am enough. I'll figure it out. Or there's something about me that even if I don't have any skills or knowledge or understanding, I'll figure it out. I'll go in there. I'm enough. And it's all kind of driven by my personal self-assurance that if it interests me, then it's for me.
Wow. Well, you've told us how you use it with your other strengths already, but you didn't mention strategic. How does strategic work with the self-assurance?
Well, we'll cover that one a little bit more, but for me, strategic has a rule. And the rule is that no matter where I want to go, no matter what I want to do, there's always a way, even if I'm not aware of where the way is. So everything for me starts with self-assurance. I'm enough. I can do this. And then strategic says, okay, there's a way. Let's go find it. That's how it works in tandem for me.
I love that. I think you've already shared also what you like about it. So Jane, you want to finalize this conversation?
What we ask every one of the people that we chat with is, what would you say to somebody who is sitting on the fence about taking the Gallup Strengths Assessment?
Well, I would share a personal story with them about what it's done for me. Let's say we're talking about self-assurance, because what we're talking about right now is self-assurance. One of the things I learned is this really cool tool called the balconies and basements tool, which you ladies, I know you know all about.
Mhm.
And in the balcony and basements is like, this is the high of the strength. This is the low of the strength. People who are high end achievers can be very productive, but at the low, it's they burn the candle at both ends, you know. For self-assurance, it's, you know, I have confidence and, you know, I believe in myself, even if I have no proof of that belief. But the low side is being labeled as cocky or arrogant. And so maybe your viewers are watching this go, oh my gosh, this guy's so full of himself. Yeah, that's the basement of self-assurance. And so for me, I've gone through my whole life leading with that desire, going, Eddie, no matter what you want to do, you can figure this out. And that impacts how I communicate. And so when I'm in a room full of experts and I'm not an expert, but I'm talking as if I am, the number one thing I get labeled as in their minds is, oh my gosh, this guy's cocky and arrogant. How do we get him out of here? Right. But that's not what I want. I actually want to make a difference in people's lives. And so until I knew that self-assurance was my most important strength for me, I didn't know why I was always hesitant to just let that one lead. And it was simply because I was afraid of what people would think of me. I was afraid that people would judge me as arrogant and cocky. So I had learned how to put myself down so that they would never think I was arrogant or cocky. And somebody with self-assurance doesn't put themselves down, doesn't devalue themselves. They actually increase their value. So in essence, I would tell someone, when you take the strengths assessment, you know who your best self is, but you also know what's been keeping you from being that best self. And if you could learn that, what a difference it would make in your life to be able to give yourself permission to be your best self and let go of this fear of being something you're not. But like for me, and don't worry, we'll make it easy for you to understand. That's what I would say. Don't worry, we'll make it easy for you to understand.
That was amazing, Eddie. Thank you so much. Wow. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Eddie.
My pleasure.